On today's show, Dan Kahn visits a farm that's not only growing food to eat, but they have some food for thought. And Kevin Chirac drops in on the couch in Capitals training camp. All that and much more on Go. Hello, thank you so much for joining us on Go. I want to thank James Green for covering for me for the last couple of weeks. I just got back from the Big Apple, New York City, where theater happens on every street corner. Everywhere you look, there's a theater performance in New York. But it's kind of like that here in Victoria during the summer months. In fact, right now we are standing just outside of Beacon Hill Park on Dallas Road. And this was the Victoria set for the Shakespeare by the Sea. Now, if you missed it, don't worry, my friends, because they are going on the road. Next stop, Sydney by the Sea.
Sydney by the Sea, and then we're going on to Nanaimo by the Sea.
I love it. And you know, there is nothing like seeing live theater and Shakespeare in the great outdoors. Tell us about what you guys are doing this year.
Well, we just had July, and we were in Clover Point, in Ogden Point, and now we're going up to Sydney next week. You can see Hamlet, and you can see The Tempest, and you'll just see a wonderful show outside the way Shakespeare did it himself. I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and by day confined to fast and fires, until the foul crimes of my days of youth in nature are burnt and purged away. Listen, Hamlet, listen. If ever thou didst thy dear father love, revenge is most foul murder.
Shakespeare is timeless, but it's fun as a director to come up with different takes, to kind of add your own personality, your own touch. Tell us about what we're doing with the two plays that you're performing this year.
Well, this year we're doing Hamlet, and there is an original Hamlet story from the Viking era called Amleth. And so what we've done is we put it in the Viking era, not the Renaissance or in the 1920s Chicago. And it really is working. We really see a bond between the original story of Amleth and Hamlet. So that's that. And then when we do The Tempest, we do it in modern dress with suits and ties and capri shorts and cell phones, and it works.
Now, did you know that if there was a natural disaster and we were cut off from the rest of the world, that Vancouver Island only has enough food for 3 days?
3 days.
3 days. Does that scare you?
It does.
It scares me. But there's a wonderful farm here on Vancouver Island that is coming up with all sorts of great solutions. Dan Kahn with that story. This year, Sydney Shakespeare by the Sea is not only going to be in Sydney, but they're going to go to Nanaimo, which I think is very cool. So, as an actor and who's been part of this Shakespeare festival for the last couple of years, what are the challenges of doing it in an outdoor setting?
Wind and rain.
Yeah.
As a fight director, it's terrible because your stage gets wet, and sometimes you have to cancel a fight, which we actually did this year because we had so much rain on one of the shows. But yeah, and then of course you have winds that'll rip your tent right off the poles.
Yes. And as you can hear the plane overhead, they have to deal with planes. We do too. I mean, that's the whole thing about working outside. Planes and trains and automobiles. But you know, you do have a beautiful voice. I tell you, when you hear this guy, goosebumps. Tell us, what's your role in
I play Claudius. I'm Hamlet's uncle / now stepfather. Oh, my offense is rank. It reeks to heaven. It hath upon it a primal elder curse, a brother's murder. Pray, cannot I, through inclination, be sharp as will? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and as a man, double business bound, I stand in pause where first I shall begin in both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself in brother's blood?
Honestly, if you've never seen a Shakespeare, this is the one to come see. You can't go wrong. The fight scenes, the energy, just being outside, it's going to be so much fun.
It's a great time.
So much fun. Now, this is also the time of year where the junior hockey players are really getting ready for the big season. This could make or break their careers. Our very own Kevin Chirac headed to the Cowichan Valley to talk to a few hockey players with big dreams. We're so blessed to live here on Vancouver Island, surrounded by Mother Nature's beauty, the ocean, the mountains, the clouds, the sunsets. Now imagine combining that with some amazing live theater. We have it here for you. Shakespeare by the Sea. It's going to be in Sydney. It's also going to be in Nanaimo. I am so excited about not only the Tempest and the Hamlet, but the takes you have on it. Vikings and then modern day with the Tempest. Tell us what you're playing and who you are.
I'm in both shows this year. In Hamlet, I play Horatio, who is Hamlet's best friend.
Yes.
And in The Tempest, I play Ferdinand, who is, this is going to get complicated, the son of the King of Naples, who ends up falling in love with the daughter of the banished Duchess.
Sounds like Shakespeare to me.
Oh, admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full, many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked several women, none was so full soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
We have to take a very quick break, but please stay with us because when we come back, James Green is hitting the streets to talk to you about your favorite piece of bling. We have to take a very short break, but please stay with us. When we come back, Paul Ballstein meets a teacher who's created a new school for kids who don't go to school, and they are loving it.
What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself and brother's blood? Is there not rain enough from the heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to oppose the visage of offence? What's in prayer but this twofold force to be forestalled ere we come to fall or pardon being down? And then I'll look up, and all my faults are past. Oh, but what form of prayer shall serve my term?
That's a little sneak peek of Shakespeare by the Sea. If you want to get up close and personal and see Shakespeare by the Sea, get your tickets. It'll be in Sydney, September 10th to the 13th, and then the following weekend in Nanaimo. We will see you next time on Go.
Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir, casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.